Hello and welcome to the Student Support Portal. The portal is an online community of students, educational professionals and parents of students with a disability who want to keep up to date with the latest developments in assistive technology. Hello and welcome. Today we are talking to Helena Harrison from Sonocent. Helena, welcome.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. It's great.
Sonocent, for our viewers who don't know the company, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, and then a little bit about the company, please?
Okay, well, my name is Helena, and I live in Devon with my husband, Jim, and my youngest daughter, Amelia, who's planning to go to university in September, hopefully. I also have two older children, Holly and Lawrence. Prior to working with Sonocent, I worked as an assistive technology trainer for about 15 years or so. I joined Sonocent in about 2015, but prior to that, I created replicas of cochlear implants for soft toys, such as cougars or monkeys. It's a rather strange job, but they were given to very young deaf children before their own implants were switched on. And the plan was to familiarize them with their new devices. And this helped them to adjust to wearing their own sound processors. And that actually, in the end, minimized the trauma of hearing sound for the first time. So I was really pleased to be able to be involved in something like that. And in my free time, I love anything dance and pottery related. So that's myself.
Okay, that's a fascinating job, making implants so that the kids feel more comfortable with their own. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really good to be involved in it. I really enjoyed it.
And then you made the move into Sonocent, what, about 5 years ago now then?
Yes, in about 2015.
Okay, and what do you do for Sonocent? What's your role there?
My role, well, I'm the training and accounts manager, and I work alongside our education manager, Lee Chambers. We travel all over the UK and Ireland providing training and support to DSA needs assessors, disability advisors, study skills tutors, AT trainers and other disability practitioners on both audio Note Taker and Glean. And this is usually done at assessment centres or universities or the colleges, or at one of the many industry events and conferences that take place, throughout the year. And we also regularly deliver webinars and create training videos and guides and things like that as well.
Okay, and I noticed you mentioned two of your products there, the audio Note Taker and Glean. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about those and in particular what the differences in the two products are?
Okay, well, Audio Note Taker and Glean are both designed to help students take better notes. And although they do have a number of similarities, there are also some key differences. Audio Note Taker is more of a traditional piece of software. It's downloadable onto both Windows or Mac, and it's full of really useful features. You can use it to take notes from multiple learning environments, such as lectures and seminars, webinars and videos. And it also includes some really fantastic strategies, such as helping you manage revision, composing essays with your voice, or building and practicing presentations. Now, Glean is our new note-taking solution, and many see this as a bit of an evolution to Audio Note Taker. The major difference is that you don't download it and install it. You actually create a Glean account, which then runs as a web app in a Google Chrome web browser. And this can be done on Windows, Mac, or Chromebooks. And when you use Glean and you're online, any events that you create are automatically synced to the cloud. However, you don't actually have to be online to use it, which is really handy. And when you are using it offline, it actually looks exactly the same, but your events, instead of being stored to the cloud, are stored locally in your web browser data. So your notes are always accessible, whether you're connected to the internet or not. And we thought this was really valuable for students. And also, Glean has been designed with a modern student in mind. So it uses commonly used tools like emoji style reactions and a feed a bit like a news feed. So it mirrors platforms that many students are familiar with. And this was done so it would actually feel more natural and familiar for students to use, and something that they would actually want to use as well. And it's also designed to be as distraction-free as possible and incredibly easy to use. So it really doesn't need much, if any, training. And you can be up and running with it in under 5 minutes.
Okay, and I can see the advantage of that for, as you referred to, the modern student. probably with a Chromebook, and may have struggled to download applications onto that before. So they can now use this either online or offline. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. And it looks exactly the same whether you're online or offline. And basically, when you sign in to Glean, you're signed in for 30 days. And so you can actually be offline and sign into app.glean.co and access all of your notes. And you'll be able to access them
Okay.
easily. Yeah, so wherever you are, really.
Excellent. And Sonocent as a company, I've certainly been familiar with the company name for quite a while. What are they working on at the moment? How has the company changed over the past number of years?
They're really passionate about improving every student's access to information. And we do this by developing innovative software that enables students to create effective notes from any learning environment. So any student taking notes and spoken information, such as in classroom settings, lectures and webinars, regardless of their learning needs, they face a dilemma. Do they concentrate and engage in the moment, or do they create notes to return to them and consolidate them later on? And this problem is really exacerbated for students with neurodivergent or mental health needs.
Okay, and you've mentioned students quite a lot there when you're referring to who uses the product, but is that a typical client of yours? And what age of student? Is it key stages at primary and secondary, or are we mainly talking about university students?
Basically, it is mostly students at universities, although we do have sixth form students that do use our software. Our software was originally designed with dyslexic students in mind, but we have found that it has a much broader user base. So as well as dyslexic students, it also supports students with other SPLDs as well, and those with mental health issues, hearing, visual and physical impairments also find it handy, and those with conditions such as chronic fatigue. And I would say that most of our students do get it via the DSA and the access to work. But as I said, we do provide licenses to higher education and further education institutions, because this helps them to support students who are waiting for their DSA, or for those students actually not eligible for DSA, such as international students, or those whose difficulties don't quite reach the DSA criteria, or for those who are studying FE courses.
Okay, and as a student, I do remember sitting in a lecture hall with my notepad. Have things changed in terms of note taking over the past number of years? I'm thinking of students studying remotely, or has my vision of studying 20 years ago, has that changed any for needing to take notes?
I think every student still needs to take notes, don't they? And I think some students get note-taking support. I do know that if you're a DSA student, you no longer have that as part of your DSA package, I understand. And I think that the universities have to put in place note-taking support for those students, whether that's as a note taker, or whether it's software like our own that helps with the students. And some universities actually have our license as a site license, so that all students can have access, whether they've got difficulties or not, just so that it's more of an inclusive learning tool.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've heard a lot of talk recently about universities having that responsibility to either lecture capture or record notes somehow. And
Yeah.
what about that more modern way of working, where students might study from home or log in remotely to a master's course? How would Glean work in the likes of this webinar situation? Could I be using it to take notes now?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, we've made this accessible only in the last week or so, actually, especially in light of what has happened with COVID. We've needed to make sure that students using Glean are able to record any of their remote learning. So you can now log into Glean, and rather than just recording what's going into the computer, you can actually choose to record from a particular browser. So you'll be able to record all of your online learning lectures. And also, as of yesterday, you can now also record what is going in as well. So you've got an option either just to record what is coming out of a particular browser window, or if it's a meeting, for example, you can record a meeting that's coming out of the browser window, but also you can record what's going in with your mic, so you can record yourself, so you can sort of be part of the debate itself.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're doing a lot of these interviews at the moment with a lot of the publishers and manufacturers, and comments like, oh yes, we released this last week, or this new feature came out yesterday, is becoming more and more common, which I think is interesting for software, because for a long time we all had access to the standard software suite for years. It never changed, and it
I
seems now
know.
that manufacturers and publishers are responding very quickly and able to innovate very quickly, which
I
is
think it's I think it's brilliant. I think things are going to be different when we come back after this. You know, after lockdown, I mean, they're going to think, well, are they going to be able to have more people working at home? Are you going to be able to do more online learning? And I think it will change things.
yeah. Okay, so if anybody is interested in Glean or Sonocent, where is the best place for them to go, either to purchase that or to get a trial of that? What would you recommend they do?
Well, when it comes to the DSA assessors, then they can just recommend us in their reports. But if it's for a university or college, then the best way is to get in touch with myself or Lee, so that we can discuss their needs and recommend appropriate solutions. Of course, there's different solutions for different settings. So yeah, my email address is helena@sonocent.com, whereas Lee, my colleague, is lee@sonocent.com. So they're pretty easy to remember. But you can also head over to our website at sonocent.com, because there's a host of information in there and lots of resources about both of the software. Yeah,
Great.
that's it really.
Okay, and one final question. How do you see technology changing education in the future? Note-taking is one of those things that's been around for a long time in lectures. So how will changes in technology affect your company?
Oh, our company. Well, I think it's probably better for our company, because if people are going to be recording online, then we have the ability to be able to help people record their lectures, whether they're using Glean or Audio Note Taker. They can use both of our solutions to help record remotely. But I mean, in terms of how technology is changing, I suppose in the past, it was mostly based around students attending lectures and tutorials in person, wasn't it? And now, as technology is creating new opportunities and more accessibility, so that as every student learns differently, technology can help support inclusion by making it possible to offer alternative methods of teaching and assessment, I suppose, and also the technology allows people to be more connected, and it breaks down barriers of time and geography. And so I reckon that in the future we'll see many more people learning and working remotely from anywhere in the world in a time that suits them. So I think it's going to be really convenient. And yes, with software like our own, they'll be able to record it all and annotate it, and know they're not going to lose any of it.
Yeah. Okay, Helena, thank you for talking to us. There is a Sonocent group on the DSA portal, so if anybody wants more information, they can head across to that, and Helena and Lee's links will be there as well if you want to engage directly with the team. Thank you for watching. This interview was part of our Publishers and Manufacturers series of interviews. If you'd like more information on the products that were discussed in the interview, please go to the portal Assistive Technology section and start a conversation. Thanks for watching.